Hi, my name is Kayla Ernstmeyer, and I'm an education student over at Concordia University. And today I just want to take a couple minutes to give you a little overview of the website that I've created. So starting off, I just want to explain to you why I've created this website. I think it's a great way for me to stay organized. I have sections where I can keep different resources and tools for my future classroom. I am able to combine everything and keep everything organized in the way that I find accessible. And also other teachers are able to look at the things that I'm doing as well. It's also a great way for families to find out a little bit more about who I am. And then also when I apply for future jobs, the committees can take a look at my website and see what I believe in as an educator and some of the experience that I've had, as well as all the resources I plan on using in my future classroom someday. So let's go ahead and get started. Up here is my menu page, and we're going to go through each of those items here in a minute. This first page is my About Me page, where you'll be able to see who I am as a person and what I believe in and why I really want to become a teacher later on in life. There's ways to connect with me, and then a few of my favorite things as well. If you move over to this reflections page, this is where I give my thoughts on The Innovator's Mindset by George Couros. There are some great things that he packs into that book, and so I reflect on the chapters that I've read and also just some of the ideas that I've had stem from the readings that I've done. My e-portfolio is a great spot for me to keep everything organized. As you can see through my headings here, there are just some goals and different ideas that I think are important in education. My teaching models, there's also just some specific things that can be incorporated into the classroom. And then also the digital toolbox here, it is separated into different apps and resources that can be beneficial for each of these categories. So I created this website as a part of a class called Instructional Technologies. And another part of that class is to create a statement on the importance of technology integration and how I feel about that as a future educator. So we're going to go ahead and look at that statement right now. If you go under teaching models right here and then down to technology integration, you'll be able to quickly find that link. And initially what pops up is my video, and then there's a more full statement. But today I just want to touch on a couple things. As a teacher, I consider myself a more progressivist style educator, and that basically is stating that there's change happening all around us, and so those educators really believe that we need to adapt to that change. And one of those changes is technology. And so I really believe that if we don't include technology in our classrooms, we are going to set up our students for some failure. And we want to be able to include that technology so that they can develop their learning and continue to be better and push themselves to understand a little bit more about who they are and then also the world around us, since it is ever changing. And then another big key point that I want to focus on is that I really believe that face-to-face connection can never be replaced in a classroom. And I think that's something that we kind of try to replace with the idea of technology. But I want to use technology in my classroom to deepen those face-to-face relationships. I want to use it to incorporate FaceTime and Skype and have students talk to real experts about real content in their classroom so that they're not learning it from me, they're learning it from people who are truly experts. They are able to understand how to really deepen their learning on their own because of this technology. And so that's why I believe that it's so important for them to include this technology in the classroom, because it's giving students the chance to really discover who they are as learners and really opening new doorways that we have never seen before. So kind of building on that connection and use of technology in the classroom, I want to take you over to my first year's goal page. And this is a spot where you'll be able to see that some of the things that I want to implement in my classroom regarding technology and the resources that I have found useful. So if you hop over to my ePortfolio over here, you can quickly click on first year goals. And the first thing that pops up is my Digio page. And this is where I've saved all sorts of online resources and tools that I can incorporate for lessons or helpful guidelines in my own future classroom. And then I've included just a handful of tools that I would like to specifically integrate into my own classroom. Google Forms is a great way for teachers to connect to their students. The way that I want to use it is through the specific form that I created to help learn about individuals in my classroom. It's just a little interest survey that will help me understand who they are and how I can help them succeed in the classroom. There's also virtual field trips, a great place for me to go to find all sorts of lesson ideas for comfortable learning inside the classroom that also allows children to be in an experience that takes them beyond the walls. And then Go Noodle. I want to use this to get students up and moving. I think a lot of times teachers sometimes forget that we're sitting at a desk all day long and students are stuck there. They're having a hard time learning because they're not being active. So this is something that I want to use to keep my students active. Chatterpix Kids is a great way for students to be creative and also a great way for me to check their literacy skills and just really incorporate technology into the classroom just on another level. And then the final resource that I'd like to look at is coding. This is something that I really enjoyed through the course of instructional technologies. And I think it's a great way for students to dive a little bit deeper into the online world. And it's a great way for them to really work on their problem-solving skills and just be able to get involved with the online world. So those are just some of the few things that I found helpful in this class. If you want to see more, they are all laid out here in my digital toolbox. Everything is categorized pretty easily for you to find, and I really encourage you to just take a look at my website. It'll help you see a little bit more about who I am as a person and some of the things that I think are important in the world of education. Thanks for watching.